Google software runs on 3 billion devices. Google's phone, if you lined up like 100 Android users, maybe one of them is holding a Pixel. Google is losing on a playing field it built. So what is the problem? Why is the Pixel not as loved? Is it the phone itself? If the Pixel phone is just a lousy product, it's logical that it is nowhere near Apple or Samsung in sales. According to StatCounter, Google has about 5% of the North American market. More than 95% of people choose something else. So is this a bad phone? Let's check. I scoured the PCMag archives. All 10 generations of the base Pixel scored either excellent or outstanding ratings. The reviews are glowing about the Pixel's photography skills. Many of the reviews say the cameras are incredible. The hardware is also praised. Year after year, Google's refined the device, keeping it in line with Apple and Samsung's most expensive phones. What about software? This is the most Android phone you can get. For generations, the Pixel received Android updates first. The latest Pixel floored me with its voice translation feature. In real time, the phone can translate between English and 10 languages. It even recreates each speaker's voice and intonation. That's sci-fi stuff. So we have a phone with amazing cameras, great hardware, and excellent software. It seems like the Pixel phone is one A-OK device. So why isn't the Google Pixel the iPhone of Android devices? Google controls the whole experience. It makes the hardware, it makes the software, everything in one. So I reached out to Jeffrey Moore, principal at Wave 7 Research. Wave 7 Research keeps track of the US wireless market like it's their job, because it is. Mr. Moore surprised me with this.
For one thing, the promotions are better around Samsung Galaxy as well as the iPhone. So the major OEMs aren't promoting it quite as hard as they're promoting other things. Also, Google has close to 0% share in the prepaid space, and also it's not as displayed as well in channels, including national retail.
Is this the true answer? Google's not pushing the Pixel enough? There must be more to it, so I kept digging around. Everywhere I turned, I was met with Google's merciless past of discontinuing products and services. Look at all these things flying by. Does the Google Grim Reaper stop sales of the Pixel?
No, I don't think that's really a problem. I think that people are just in the habit of buying either an iPhone or a Samsung device.
That habit plays a big role, but so does ecosystem lock-in. For Google to gain market share, it needs to eat a bigger piece of the pie. Which company has to lose for Google to win? I spoke with Jason Howell, host of AI Inside and former host of All About Android. He's a Pixel person and a Virgo.
I've even talked to a lot of iPhone users that say, you know, I've got issues with this, but still, everything is there. I know how it works. And so I'm willing to overlook that because it would just be too much.
Now, in the past, Android would get apps later than iOS. Now, all the major apps are on both platforms. So while it is easier to switch from an iPhone to a Pixel, people are not doing it. So is it just a habit and ecosystem? Is this the reality? A nearly $4 trillion company is losing because it does not run promotions and people stay with their phones because of habits? There must be more, right? Could Google be hampering the Pixel on purpose? Why can't this huge company make a dent? I talked to Tom Merritt, host of the Daily Tech News Show. He's been covering tech for over 20 years.
I don't know that Google doesn't want to make the Pixel more successful.
But I do know that Google doesn't want to jeopardize its Android relationships with Samsung and Motorola and others.
All right, so far Google lacks a presence in the prepaid market, runs promotions that aren't as good as the competition. It could be trying to manage its relationship with other Android phone makers too. Maybe the Pixel is just not a priority for Google. If the company wanted everyone to have a Pixel, they could go the Amazon route. That is, sell inexpensive devices to get you hooked on services. But instead, the Pixel seems more iPhone-like in pricing. Did you know that Google's parent company, Alphabet, does not break out Pixel sales in its financial reports? That's true. Pixel sales are within a category called Google Subscriptions, Platforms, and Devices. If that's surprising, subscribe, it gets weirder from here. This bucket, Subscriptions, Platforms, and Devices, includes Pixel and also YouTube Premium, YouTube Music, Google One, and Google Play fees. The whole bucket is about 11% of Alphabet's revenue. Pixel sales are somewhere in that 11%. Oh, and search alone is more than half of Google's revenue.
Honestly, I think placing the Pixel inside of a larger group kind of tells the story in and of itself. If Google really wanted to go down the road of Pixel is our priority here, then they'd be pulling that out and they'd be trumpeting that every step of the way Apple does with its iPhones.
The Pixel is definitely not reaching iPhone level success. So if it's not the priority financially, What if it's not supposed to be the priority at all? In a 2024 interview, Google's hardware head Rick Osterloh said, "The Pixel is how we sort of intend Android to look for our users, and brings a lot of Google services exactly how we want them to be delivered for users without anything else." So now the Pixel sounds more like a reference device. It is what Android should be. Other Android phone makers should look to the Pixel for inspiration. Osterloh is aware of the phone's struggles. He said, "My principal goal is to try to improve Android competitiveness, improve our innovation, improve the problems we're able to solve for users at all tiers. But we've certainly had issues in the premium space that we want to try to address." Look, maybe there's just a bigger problem happening overall. Maybe phones have hit the ceiling. The modern smartphone debuted in 2007. So I chatted up PCMag's managing editor for consumer electronics, Eric Zeman. This guy knows phones the way people know the alphabet.
I feel like there's just nowhere really more to do or more that further we can go with smartphones as a piece of hardware. We've reached all the limits. They're as big as they can really be. They last as long as they can be. The cameras are about as good as they can be. They're as fast as they can be. What we really need now is a category shift or a dynamic change in the operating system and how we interact with them.
So what is stopping the Google Pixel? Bad distribution? Just habit? Deliberate restraint? Not a priority? Or the whole category is just maxed out? Which means the real answer might be the most annoying one. It's not one thing, it's all of them, a little, at once. 10 years in, and Google still has not decided what this phone is supposed to be. Maybe with the Pixel 11 that finally changes. I'm Iyaz, Akhtar, and I'll see you inside the green bubble.